Hey, what's up, everybody? Another solid day yesterday. I know a lot of people just barely missed on their slips yesterday, getting to see what everybody was doing. As far as how my picks went yesterday, gave you a lot. There's 8 games yesterday. It gave you almost right around 25 picks total. And we went 15-8 on them, so pretty solid lines yesterday. My lock of the day did not hit, unfortunately. I have DeSumo. DeRozan just took over. It was just give the ball to DeRozan and everybody get out of the way, so he didn't really have much of a chance to really run pick and rolls, get assists, score really, and get rebounds and stuff. And then my underlock of the day, it was a close one. It was a sweat, but Nikola Vucevic did just barely go under on his. And as far as everybody else goes, Jokic hit, Kyrie hit, Tyrese Maxey hit, Seth Curry needed 12, or excuse me, was at 12.5 points, needed 13, got 12. DeMar DeRozan went absolutely bananas. Anthony Edwards just didn't want to score the basketball yesterday, I guess. Karl Anthony Towns had a monster first quarter, then decided to wait till the very end of the game to hit his line. Saddiq Bey, he ended up having a pretty good game. My sleeper pick of the day, Saddiq Bey did really well. Isaiah Stewart almost hit his rebounds in the first half. Trae Young in that Mavs game was just a disaster. Al Horford hit on his rebounds very early as well. Luka Doncic, of course, got 5 fouls and didn't play, and he still had 18 points and a triple-double. So if he would have played, man, he would have had a monster stat line. Evan Mobley, another bad shooting night from him. Jarrett Allen ended up going crazy. He had almost hit his rebound total in the first half. Wendell Carter fell just too short of his points and rebounds line. Jonas Valanciunas ended up not having a very good game yesterday. Jackson Hayes ended up getting a lot of minutes. And then Jason Tatum's rebounds and assist line hit. Christian Wood hit. Ingram hit. Reggie Jackson hit. And depending on when you got Giannis was able to hit yesterday too. So let's get it again today. Alright, and today's lock of the day going to be coming from the early game, the Toronto-Charlotte game. Over on Pascal Siakam, 36.5 rebounds and assists. We all know how bad the Hornets are at guarding the paint. Yesterday, or a few days ago, we went over on Bam Adebayo versus the Hornets because he was another big that they were playing and they struggle against bigs. He hit, so we're going to go right back at it again. We're going to go back at the Charlotte Hornets' lack of interior defense and really any interior presence at all. Last time they played just a few days ago on January 22nd, it was a 125-113 Raptors win. LaMelo did have 27, 7, and 3, but it was the Pascal Siakam show. He had 24, 12, and 9 for a 46 PRA. Right now they have him set as 36.5, so a 37. But they also have a points line at 22, a points and rebounds line at 31.5, which that would have hit too, his points and just his points rebounds line. So I love Pascal Siakam over for his points, rebounds, and assists though, because he has been passing the ball very well of late. And Pascal Siakam, pretty good talented player, should have been an all-star. Other lines in that game, I like Fred VanVleet's assist line. It's set right at 8.0 right now. Looking at the history of the guards getting assists versus the Hornets, Brandon Godwin, the backup to Darius Garland right now for the Cavs, he had 9 assists just a few days ago. Jason Tatum had 9 assists. Lance Stevenson had 10 assists. Pascal Siakam had 12 assists. So they don't give up a whole lot as far as guards getting assists, but there are guys that are primary ball handlers like Tatum, like Pascal Siakam, getting a majority of their assists. So I do like Fred VanVleet's assist line. Also in their last matchup, let it be noted that OG Anunoby did have 24 points, and OG Anunoby currently doesn't have a points line, but he has a points and rebound line set at 22.5. That's probably a solid one to go over on. Again, him, Pascal, and Scotty Barnes are going to get a lot of rebounds tonight. Alright, Wizards and Miami Heat. They've actually played 3 times within the last year. Their first matchup was a 112-97 blowout by Miami. Bradley Beal played in that game. He had 30. Kuzma with Beal and a blowout still managed to get 19. Jimmy Butler had a monster game, 32 points. Lowry had 12 assists, and Bam Adebayo had 20 and 9 in that matchup. Their second to most recent matchup, it was a 103-107 Washington win, much closer game. Butler still had 29, Hero had 20, and Bradley Beal had 21. And in their most recent matchup, a 119-112 Miami W, again, another close game. Spencer Dinwiddie had 24, 11, and 7. Kuzma, and this game was without Bradley Beal, so that's key here because Kuzma scored 22 without Bradley Beal. And currently Kuzma does have an 18.5 point line. And the Miami Heat, I know Butler's obviously a very good defender, but the Miami Heat have kind of given up a lot of points to opposing teams' number one scorers. Jaylen Brown had 29. CJ McCollum had 27. Or excuse me, had 24. Trae Young had 28. I know those are guards; those are off guards, not forwards like Kuzma. But he had opposing teams' number one scorers have the ability to score pretty good points against the Miami Heat. 32 off the bench from Tyler Hero in that affair as well, and Jimmy Butler had 25. 15 assists and 8 rebounds, so Jimmy Butler kind of fills the stat sheet up versus the Wizards. At the moment, there is no Jimmy Butler line. The only lines they have up is a 7.5 Lowry assist line, 13.3 points line for him, Duncan at 12.5 points, and Bam Adebayo with a rebounds, an assist line, and a points line. I don't necessarily like those lines for Bam. The Wizards haven't given up a whole lot to bigs. They've given up some to bigs, but like elite level bigs. Aiden had 20 and 16. Embiid had 27 and 14. Giannis had 33, 15, and 11. Steven Adams did have 10 and 15, but right now they only have a rebounds and assist line and a points line for Bam. If they had like a points and rebounds line, I'd probably like that a lot more. Phoenix, Chicago. This should be a very, very good matchup. Before I even say anything, and I tell you guys any stats, if Zach LaVine does not play this game, nuke the crap out of DeMar DeRozan's points line. I mean, last night without Kuzma, he had 40, or excuse me, without LaVine, he had 45. And I mean, I swear I didn't see him miss a shot. I watched almost the majority of that game. Every time he took a shot, it was in. I mean, DeRozan, when he gets in his bag, is absolutely unstoppable. So if Zach LaVine does not play, you have to take DeMar DeRozan's points line. You could even do his points, assists, and rebounds, because he'll probably hit it with his points alone, because he has been passing the ball very well, too. As far as Bulls go, they do kind of give up a lot to guards in past matchups. Karis LeVert had 42, Cole Anthony had 20, CJ McCollum had 29, Anthony Simons had 21. I anticipate Booker to probably have a better game today. They have him set at 28.5 points line. I don't expect this to be a blowout by any means, especially if LaVine does end up playing and Kobe White end up playing. It'll be a pretty good game. So anticipate Devin Booker to probably have a little bit of a better night tonight. Another line I am going to throw at you guys, because this one is probably a lock steal. My sleeper pick of the day, Jevonte Green, over 1.5 assists and steals. He is on the floor for one thing and one thing only, to just defend and harass the opposing team's best scorer. He gets a lot of blocks and assists in every single game. He would only need 2 blocks or steals in this one. Last couple of games, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 steals, 1 block. He's going to hit that line. I mean, he'll hit that line. I like Jevonte Green over on 1.5 assists, or excuse me, 1.5 blocks and steals for my sleeper pick of the day. Didn't really go over the history of Bulls and the Suns. Obviously, an East and West team, they obviously don't play that much during the course of the season. I also didn't want to take into account their history because the Bulls were a very different team last year. Like the Bulls starting 5 from a year ago was Vooch, Thaddeus Young, Lauri Markkanen, Patrick Williams, and Thomas Satoransky. So very different team last year. Not even going to take into account the Suns stats from last year. Do keep in mind that Booker did have 45 in their most recent matchup versus the Bulls. Just keep that in mind. Warriors Thunder is going to be an ugly one. The Warriors have blown out the Thunder for basically the last 3 years. There was even a 38-point win in that stretch over the course of time. So their recent matchups, their most recent one, Shea was their best scorer at 15. It was a 103-82 game, so a 21-point blowout. Kevon Looney had 7 points, 8 rebounds in 18 minutes. And in their matchup before that, Kevon Looney had 5 points, 8 rebounds, 18 minutes once again. Kevon Looney's going to be my underlock of the day at 10.5 rebounds. Simply, the Warriors just blow out the Thunder. And Kevon Looney plays, obviously, the opening tip-off and then really doesn't play that much more after that. And he doesn't get that much boards historically. One of those games was with Draymond Green, but still, if you're only playing 18 minutes, the chances of you having 11 rebounds unless you're Andre Drummond is pretty low. So I like my underlock of the day to be under on Kevon Looney's 10.5 rebounds. As far as any other lines in this one, guys, it's going to be the same situation as it was with the Suns and the Wizards the other day. You're probably going to want to take unders on guys like Steph and stuff like that because they simply just won't have the time on the floor. In their most recent matchup, Steph had 20, but he only played 20 minutes. So it's going to be a big blowout, and they're not going to play that much in the game. So I'd go under on a lot of those on a lot of those Warriors lines. All right, Knicks versus the Utah Jazz. this is a game. Obviously, these two don't play all that much. East-West teams once again. The line I like the most in this game is going to be Donovan Mitchell over 24.5 points. Obviously, last game was his first game back from his little weird concussion protocol thing he had going on. He had 27 in only 21 minutes in a blowout versus Brooklyn. So I anticipate kind of the same situation here. Not exactly a blowout versus the Knicks. They played well last game, the Knicks did. So this might be still a little bit of a closer game, especially without Rudy Gobert still to help their defensive side of things. As far as the Knicks' history versus the last couple of good guards they've played, 23 from Ja, 21 from Tyrese, 24 from Drew, 25 from Duncan, 21 from Hero, and 26 from Reggie Jackson. So anticipate Donovan Mitchell to probably have a little bit of a better scoring game against the Knicks' lack of perimeter defense. And as far as Knicks lines go, again, Rudy Gobert is still out. So the paint is going to be a little bit more open. Again, like I said, Hassan Whiteside, a good paint defender, not better than Rudy Gobert, not as good as Rudy Gobert. Randall did have himself a game last game versus the Lakers. Again, that game did go to overtime, so that is gonna have his stats just a little bit buff, but he's been playing a little bit well of recently. His points, rebounds, and assists line right now is set at 33.5. I anticipate him to get quite a few rebounds tonight. You know what? I'm gonna do it over on Julius Randle's points, rebounds, and assists. I know people like to bet on the Knicks. You don't have to, but I'm telling you what the numbers say. I'm telling you, go over on Julius Randle tonight. All right, guys, and for my slips, some people have been asking me to post all my slips of what I'm gonna end up doing. So it's probably this one's gonna depend a little bit as well on if Levine and them boys play. But so my 3 slip is going to be over on Pascal Siakam's points, rebounds, and assists. Over on DeRozan's points, which is set at 27.5 right now. And over 1.5 steals for Jevonte Green will be my 3 slip. And my 5 slip will be exactly the same. Pass, DeRozan, and Jevonte Green. Adding Mason Plumlee's points, rebounds, and assists. And under on Kevon Looney's rebounds. That's set at 11 right now. But I would drop DeRozan's points for Jimmy Butler's points versus the Wizards. I do like... whenever they end up putting out this Jimmy Butler line, I'm definitely going to want to jump on top of that Jimmy Butler line. You guys probably should too. But if my 5 slip at the moment had to be posted, it'd be Pascal Siakam, DeMar DeRozan, Jevonte Green, Mason Plumlee, and under on Kevon Looney's rebounds. Let's get this money today. Peace.